Hey guys, welcome back to another album review. Today is going to be a very special review because it's going to be a review of Ember by Breaking Benjamin, and this is probably my most anticipated album of 2018, I would say. All the Breaking Benjamin fans have been waiting for Ember, and it was announced August of last year that they were finished with it, so we were expecting a 2017 release, but instead we got an April 2018 release. But hey, at least it exists, right? Now it's here, and like the fans suspected, the first and last track, which are Lyra and Vega, they're named after two constellations, and they are intros and outros. They're not actual full songs, and so that didn't really surprise me. The singles were interesting. I only listened to 3, by the way. I listened to Feed the Wolf, Red Cold River, and Blood, and those were the only 3 I listened to before the album came out because I didn't want to spoil too much of it because I knew it was going to be a short album. They were all more aggressive than Breaking Benjamin has been in a while. This album did end up being pretty heavy, and so I really like that about it. There's a lot of layered, intricate vocal harmonies, which was kind of on Dark Before Dawn and is even more present on this album. Ben is doing screamed vocals here for the first time since 2009, which is very interesting. Overall theme of this album seems to be about internal struggles and stuff like that. And so now, with my beginning thoughts over with, let's get into the in-depth track-by-track album review, starting with track 1, which is Lyra. It has some piano chords that follow the chord progression of Feed the Wolf's chorus, and the transition from this 30-second track to Feed the Wolf is very seamless. It's almost perfect, I would say. And I think every transition from intro to opening song has been improving with every album. This intro I probably won't be coming back to because it is only a 30-second song. And now we get into track 2, which is Feed the Wolf, and surprisingly the intro, which is Lyra, whatever the heck, is very quiet compared to this song. I already did a track review for this song, and that will be in the cards. And I still like the song just as much as when I reviewed it. I'd still give it like a solid 9 out of 10 or something. The speaking in the bridge, fantastic addition to the song, along with the scream that leads back into the last chorus, and Ben's vocal runs in the verse are really good. I really love that vocal layer towards the end where Ben is saying "fight the animal" like over and over. I think that is really cool. Like, I kind of get this picture in my head when I hear that last chorus, and I think of like Ben singing to like his reflection in the mirror or something, and then the reflection is saying like "fight the animal," and then the other one is singing the chorus part. So I don't know, that's just something I feel like it'd make a good music video. And then there's track 3, which is Red Cold River. This was the first single on the album, and I was satisfied with it, especially when I first heard it, because it's classic Breaking Benjamin. It's non-threatening, non-offensive, just simple rock song. It's nothing really too special. It did have more screaming than usual, but as I listened to this album more, I realized this is probably my least favorite and easily the weakest on the album, and I severely overrated it and overreacted in my reaction review video, which ironically is my most popular video, so that's what I'm known for most, is just fangirling over Red Cold River, which is so terrible because I don't even completely agree with that video anymore. The reason this kind of soured on me just a little bit is because it's just kind of plain to me. There's not quite as many little intricacies thrown in there that there are in most of the tracks. I still do like the soft little background guitar in the second verse and the double bass in the main riff. There's still a lot of things like that that I do like about it. It's just been getting overplayed. Mostly my fault, but now I just don't want to come back to it as much, to be honest. Track 4 is Tourniquet. I have a lot to say about this song. Directly contrasting my thoughts on Red Cold River. This one I was hyped for because there's a possibility of this being a cover of the Evanescence song Tourniquet, and I really like that song, and so I was like, oh, what if it is a cover? It obviously wasn't. And the title itself just sounded intriguing for Breaking Benjamin. When I first heard this one though, I did immediately enjoy the distorted, filtered opening guitar riffs and how Ben screams / sings "take this life," and he holds out life so long, and it's really, really cool. The verse is pretty simple in its structure, especially in the lyrics. The lyrics all start with "I will." The phrase "I will," it's like repeated 1,000 times in this song, and that still bugs me a little bit because for a song title that is Tourniquet, can't we get a little more lyrical variety here? However, as simple as the verses, there is a little guitar part in the background that is playing these 16th notes. They're very quick notes, and I was thinking, man, that must be so fun to play if I was actually good at guitar. The chorus is where I had a big issue with this song, because Ben's vocals sounded very edited. His pitch was wavering in a very weird way, but upon more listens, I'm actually realizing that Ben's pitch that kind of wavers and changes a little bit and is shaking, especially during when he says, "You won't break me." On the word break, his voice is like all over the place. But then I'm realizing that's actually just because he has a shaky voice. If you've ever heard Breaking Benjamin live, if his voice just kind of has this quick tremolo to it, like not even a vibrato, it's just a very quick kind of shake. And I think they actually just kept this in this song and didn't edit it and didn't make it seem more clear and smooth sounding. But that's actually kind of a cool thing. It reminds me of Saturate a little bit because his voice was pretty shaky on Saturate. And so I really actually like that quality about this song as I listen to it more. And overall, this song's just very unique, and I kind of thought it was weird, but now I would not call it weird. And this has probably never happened before for me, where a least favorite becomes a favorite, but hey, here it is. Track 5 is Psycho. If you know anything about this channel, you know that I purposely held off from listening to the 4th and 5th pre-release songs, which I mentioned earlier, and I'm really glad I actually waited to listen to this one because it made it that much more special to me. The mixed reception this song got is kind of confusing to me because I think this is one of my favorites on the album. The bass is slapped. You can definitely hear it in the mix. The guitars in the intro and verse are played in a very rhythmic and kind of choppy manner, which is really cool. It's actually probably my favorite thing about this song is how choppy the guitars sound in the verse. And I mean choppy in a good way. Okay, just gotta get that out of the way. So the weakest part of the song is probably the chorus because it's kind of simple. It kind of sounds like any other average Dark Before Dawn chorus, to be honest. But I don't really mind it because the rest of the song is amazing. I love the solo and the bridge. I did not expect a guitar solo in here. Track 6 is The Dark of You featuring Derek Hugh, and I find it interesting the backstory behind that because Derek was on Dancing with the Stars, which I don't really care about. I just read it online. And Ben reached out to him when he did a cover of Ashes of Eden about a year ago. And this is Breaking Benjamin's first real collaboration on a song on a studio album. He only sings backup in this song, Derek. He only sings the background harmonies. I probably wouldn't have even guessed anyone was featured just because it sounds like Ben singing with himself kind of. It goes into some piano and keyboards. It's definitely a true ballad like Ashes of Eden was. And I expected the vocals to be a little more natural sounding. They went the Starset route with this for sure, and they definitely made it sound more like electronic a little bit. The harmonies are really nice in this song, but they're a little overproduced, I would say, in places. When Ben sings "We Live, We Breathe, We Die," starting in the second verse, I genuinely got chills the first time I listened to that. Especially because he goes into his nice falsetto after that. He sings with so much emotion in this song. Around the 2-minute mark comes in the guitars, and they're very distorted. They're kind of in the background, and it's just one little strum like a couple times in the chorus. The quality of them is very, very distorted in kind of a non-appealing way. And the lyrics though are really good here, some of the best lyrics on the album, but it's definitely not better than any of their other previous ballads. Track 7 is Down. Now, talking about Starset earlier, the droning chords and the choir vocals in the beginning of the song definitely sound Starset inspired to me. It erupts into this main riff. In the verse, the palm muted guitars are in there along with the lead guitar's melody, and then it sounds more typical of Breaking Benjamin. The way the pre-chorus carefully leads into the chorus is amazing. The chorus itself is phrased in such a separate way where there's pauses in between the lyrics. It makes it sound more rhythmic, more enjoyable in my eyes. The quality of Ben's voice changes dramatically from line to line in the verse. It really shows how much he can do with his voice because he goes from throaty when he says like between, he has this very throaty sound in his voice, but then it goes from that to raspy to perfectly like crystal clear, you know. The bridge has some screams along with shrieking guitars. All these great intricacies paired together make this possibly my favorite song on the album. Track 8 is Torn in Two. This is the song that was originally going to be on Dark Before Dawn, and 30 seconds of the verse and the chorus ended up getting leaked a while back, and I was a bit surprised this song made the album at first because I was like, isn't this supposed to be on Dark Before Dawn? What the heck? But the mood of this song is a bit too dark and intense to fit on Dark Before Dawn, so it actually makes sense why it worked much better on Ember. I'm really glad this song actually came into existence fully because I did always like the little clip that was on the internet, you know. One thing that I was disappointed in is that this song sounds almost exactly like To The Leak from like a year ago or more, and I thought it would be completely remade for this album, but I don't think it is. Once you let go of all the hype and all the extremely high expectation, this is actually a really great song. I mean, I don't know if I'd consider it a favorite. The bridge is a little anticlimactic, yes, but at the same time I like how the guitars slide up to the notes. And my favorite part is probably how intense it sounds towards the end when Ben is singing Hold On. Track 9 is Blood. I did a reaction review for this song too, up here. So if you witnessed that, you saw me fangirling over this song too. But the difference is I still agree with it, even though that song is released in February. This song is phenomenal and kind of perfect to me. It's still my favorite pre-release song and maybe even my favorite on the album, for its unique structure, the upbeat chorus, Ben's voice, and honestly the bridge is just phenomenal. I love the little slowed down part before the last chorus, and every second of this song is great, and there's enough said on that. So track 10 is Save Yourself. This song begins with an interestingly timed guitar riff. I think honestly Breaking Benjamin could have easily made this sound very progressive if they wanted to. They could have messed a little bit with the time signature. I think that would have been cool, but that's not really how Breaking Benjamin is. So the verse is a little bit quieter, and the pounding drums and the bass end up coming in every couple seconds in this verse. One of my internet friends was actually saying earlier that the screaming kind of sounded like Ryan Clark from Demon Hunter, and I can definitely hear that now that I listen for it, because the quality of the scream and the way they enunciate really sounds like Ryan from Demon Hunter. And I'm gonna guess it's actually both Ben and Aaron screaming together during that part in the verse, but I'm not sure about that. The chorus takes a completely different path than the verse. What I don't like about this chorus is how the lyric, "my dying breath," on the word breath, it sounds very weird and out of place. You got this tender, really nice, soft falsetto, and then you got breath being like yelled. In some ways, the guitars in the chorus and the bridge actually remind me a little bit of Dark Before Dawn. Track 11 is Close Your Eyes. The second I heard those quick, menacing opening guitars, especially with the high notes that the lead guitar was playing, I immediately thought of Sevendust. For any Sevendust fans out there, listen to this song and I promise you it will make you think of older Sevendust. The bass-driven verse also keeps that energetic, quick pace, and the chorus really slows things down to classic Breaking Benjamin tempo, I guess. Out of all the songs on Ember, I'd say this is Ben's weakest vocal performance just because there's not really any interesting vocal moments. I like how melodic and big this song is because it is a closing track, and I would have to say that it's a better closing track than Defeated from Dark Before Dawn. But it cannot compete and will never live up to Without You from Dear Agony. Track 12 is Vega. The way the ending guitar chords lead into this calm outro, driven by the higher played bass and the guitars, with the drums kicking in halfway through, is literal perfection, let me tell you. I thought Close Your Eyes was still playing when this song came on. The way it gradually closes out with the drums makes this my favorite Breaking Benjamin outro out of the three. Overall, this album did meet my high expectations. There is not a bad song on here. Red Cold River is not a bad song, and it is the weakest, I think. It's a very solid collection of great Breaking Benjamin songs. Now, there weren't any incredible songs beside really Down and Blood. I think those were incredible. I don't think any of the others really reached that status. I think they were all pretty great though. I think there's a couple things they could improve maybe, like less recycled lyrics, less overproduced vocals. Those are the main two things, I think. The bass is a little bit louder in the mix than on Dark Before Dawn, which I really like, and the layering was very good. Every song has something to offer, I would say, and I think this will be an album that I return to. My overall rating of this album is a 9 out of 10. I think if you're a Breaking Benjamin fan, even if you're somebody who didn't enjoy Dark Before Dawn, give this a listen because you'll probably like this better, because I think it's far better than Dark Before Dawn, and in my opinion, a little better than Dear Agony too. Now, is it better than their first three albums? No, probably not. I'd like to hear what you think about this album in the comments below, and hear if you were excited for this album, which I think a lot of people were. And so yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.